everyone. Long time no see or speak. I know I've been gone for a very long time. To make a very long story short, I was gone because I was in a documentary studies program in New York, and on top of schooling and work study, I had a commute. I was commuting from Philadelphia to New York almost every single day, if not for school, then work. And it really took a toll on me. I don't know why it took so long because I have been commuting, I guess, since 2020 pretty much. But with school added onto it and me working on this film that meant everything to me, still means everything to me because I'm not quite finished with it. It was just a lot. It was a lot of stress. It was a lot of burnout. And I didn't even realize that I was experiencing burnout until I really reached this like breaking point. So I used the summer, and I'm still currently using my time to just relax. I really, really needed a break, and my mother understood as well as my other family members. So I've been staying with my grandmother and my family pretty much to save so I can either move back to New York or wherever I choose to move depending on the job that I'm going to receive. And yeah, so I was just tired, y'all, and I was just working on my own personal stuff. But now that that's over with, I can finally get back into these past live videos. And for those of you who are in the comment section asking when I was going to complete this is for you because, you know, I know it took a while, but I will finish what I start. So with all of that being said, I can now just get straight into Virgo in the 12th house. I won't focus too much on Mercury in the 12th house because I've already done a video on that. I will put that link in the description box if you want to see that. But that mostly focuses in on Gemini. Gemini and Virgo are not the same, even though both of them are Mercurial ruled, but they can be similar. Regardless of that, I'm just gonna, this video is probably not going to be that long because outside of the Greek mythology, I'm just going to go straight into Virgo, specifically Virgo in the 12th house, since I won't really have to say much about Mercury. Yeah. Now, let's get straight into it. So the Greek mythology of Virgo, how do I say this? Let me preface this by saying this may seem a little off compared to how I've done my other Greek mythology explanations when it came to each sign. I don't have my books because I don't know. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm living with my grandmother, so a lot of my stuff is in storage. So the books that explain this more are the ones that are packed away, and the ones that I have online, they mostly explain about the planets in the houses versus me talking about past lives with the sign. So, and with the Greek mythology situation. The book that I said with Woolfolk, that's the last name of the author of that novel, or I said that novel. Sorry to hear that. Of that book, yeah, Woolfolk is the last name of the author of the book, and it's packed away, and she did a really good job of explaining how each sign came to be. So like I said, if this seems a little weird or off, it's because I had to like research online all over again and figure out like what sounded most accurate. Based on what I researched, Virgo, as everybody knows, is considered the virgin, but it also represents the maiden, and where that came from is all based in the Greek mythology of Persephone. Persephone, I feel like this is one of those common Greek myth stories that most people actually know, like we went through it in school or whatever, but you know, maybe you don't remember. I remember this though. So everybody that is really into Greek mythology knows that Persephone and Hades are like a thing, right? But it's also kind of creepy because Hades in this story kidnaps Persephone. And what happens after he kidnaps Persephone, her mother, who is the harvest goddess, is distraught. And when she's distraught, the earth is not fruitful anymore. You know, it becomes cold and dead, you know, kind of like winter time, or when the cooler months arise. So that's pretty much what happens. When Persephone, her daughter, is taken, she turns the earth into like winter. And obviously this is a problem because everybody knows winter can be extremely depressing and it's not fruitful. There's no harvesting. Everything is just like sleeping and, you know. So when Zeus realizes what's going on, he of course decides that he's going to do something about it. And he tells Hades, you know, I'm going to send Persephone back to her mother, Demeter. That's the harvest goddess name, Demeter, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's like, I'm going to send her back, but if she eats something before or during her journey to her mother, then, you know, there's going to be consequences or whatever. So, of course, you know, Hades, being the little hater, little sneakster that he is, decides to, I guess I'll say force. I don't even know if I really want to say force, but manipulates or convinces Persephone to eat a pomegranate and sends her on her way. And of course, when she reunites with her mother is super happy and the earth becomes fruitful again, which is supposed to represent springtime. And I know we usually say that springtime is represented, or Aries represents spring, and that is true, the whole springing into action. But Virgo is all about the earth and the earth being fruitful and having a purpose and nurturing the earth, you know? So everything's all great and springtime is out and about when they reunite. However, Zeus is like, yes, you are reunited with your mother, but unfortunately 4 months out of every year you're going to have to go back to Hades and the underworld because you didn't follow directions and you ate something anyway. And that's how we got the seasons. That is why we have autumn, winter, spring, and summer. It's actually one of my favorite Greek mythology stories, probably because I remember it, but I just remember it being so interesting. There's also like another Greek mythology story. I don't know I forget which one it is, but it's the one where the woman can't look back, and if she looks back then she's trapped. I don't know, but really cool, kind of eerie, but I like that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I am now just going to go jump right into the past life connection with having a Virgo in your 12th house. And as I stated earlier, for those who want to know about what Mercury in the 12th house is all about, I will put that description, I will put that link in the description box. Sorry, y'all. I'm so tired. I'm tired even right now. So if you have Virgo in your 12th house, your karmic debt is related to service and servitude. And the easiest way that I can say this or explain this is if you were possibly a slave owner and you abused or mistreated your slaves in a severe way, then your karmic debt in this lifetime is going to be pretty grand, pretty severe. But if you were a slave owner still and maybe weren't as harsh to your slaves, you're still going to have karmic debt. It just probably won't require so much balancing. One of the easiest ways for this to be balanced or for the karmic debt to be paid is 9 times out of 10, this placement of this person with this placement is going to have to be in a lot of positions that require service to others. You know, the easiest way is making this person a servant, making this one a team player, and being the one to handle all the affairs associated with those higher up than them, like taking care of people that maybe they don't respect or really like that, but having to do it anyway in order to balance out this karma. But the funny thing is with this placement as well is that you could put a person who has Virgo in the 12th house in a servitude role, in a servant role, and it still might not work or balance them out, because there are just people in this world where it doesn't matter what position they are in, they still kind of have this superiority complex going on. So this is the type of placement that can reincarnate over and over and over again until the lesson is learned, until everything is balanced out. Another thing with this placement is that this a person with this placement can struggle with a lot of self-esteem issues, not viewing themselves as good enough, So the chart will also probably have some placements to counteract that, so that they can, get their confidence again and have their wings. You feel me? This self-esteem can even seep into their everyday endeavors and becoming a master of something, so that they can further, or I guess really set on the path of their North Node, aka their destiny. Honestly, I would say that I feel like Virgo in the 12th house is much more difficult than Gemini in the 12th house. Both of them screw with you mentally, obviously, especially when it comes to Virgo, because they're always in their head as far as, perfection. Perfection is a huge thing for them, because underneath all of that is this fear that they're not good enough and that people can see their flaws, which is why they are very critical of others. It's just, and it's interesting too, because, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces and Neptune, and Pisces and Virgo are sister signs. And as I've stated in previous videos, they're so different that they're very similar. But Pisces has the gift of being able to detach and go into like a fantasy world, which weirdly enough makes them feel better. Sometimes living in delusion is a savior, all right? Whereas Virgo, once they have a fixation on something when it comes to their self-esteem, or maybe they're not mastering their destiny, it becomes the focal point and they just can't stop overthinking about it. It's like, it's kind of sick, low-key. It really reminds me actually of a Virgo moon. I imagine that that's kind of the similar thing that's going on with this placement with Virgo in the 12th house. So I hope that made sense. It's been such a while since I've spoken to a camera and to you guys. So I know this was really, really short, and I know that this was really, really weird and blotchy compared to the other videos. But I promise I'm going to get better as I keep doing this. And I think I'm just going to have to go to the storage and get my book, because I just feel so off. But like I said, I know exactly the book that I read with where it describes the planets in the 12th house. And like I said, they don't have like a separate section for Virgo versus Gemini. It's just Mercury. So that's why I'm not going to go over that. And I would rather you just watch the Gemini or Mercury / Gemini in the 12th house, so that I don't have to, I don't want to say waste my time, but that is all. I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and I promise I'm going to continue with this series now. I have the time, I have the energy now, and even though I'm tired right now, my spirit feels a lot more whole and full, and I feel like I can really give my all into what I love to do, which is, astrology, film. I like combining all of my passions in one, as you can see. And for those who also watch my book reviews or were watching my book reviews, I'm probably going to get back into that as well. There's just so much going on, but yeah, you're going to start seeing the changes come. But that is all that I have. I hope you enjoyed this video once again. Thank you for listening. If you actually listen to my current woes and everything that's been changing and going on. And I hope that you guys will watch my next video where I go into Libra in the 12th house. And I bet you that's going to be very interesting, because no offense, as a Libra moon, I know how messy Libras can be. So I want to see what the karma is going to be with that. So enjoy the rest of your day or evening whenever you watch this, and see you next time.